They are coming.
Okay.
Selamat datang teman-teman, sambil nunggu yang lain. Mungkin sekitar 1-2 menit ya teman-teman ya. Baru ada 9 partisipan. Terima kasih sudah bergabung tepat waktu. Jadi kita sambil menunggu teman-teman juga, coba saya akan live streaming juga pengaturan di YouTube. Sebentar. Nah, jadi kesempatan teman-teman di sini bisa nanti tanya jawab langsung ya, interaksi langsung. Tapi nanti Gema, pembicara kita hanya akan bisa berbahasa Inggris. Jadi kalau bisa nanti menggunakan bahasa Inggris. Saya akan ada 3 lagi yang baru masuk. Terima kasih. Selamat datang. Oke. Mungkin 1 menit lagi ya teman-teman ya, supaya yang lain bisa pada masuk. Mungkin sedang proses. Sambil bisa dipersiapkan pertanyaannya, supaya nanti kira-kira bisa tahu gambarannya, apa yang akan ditanyakan. Jadi sekadar informasi, Gema ini adalah student PhD S3, sekarang sedang berkuliah di Perancis, dan beliau ini adalah mahasiswa dari Filipina. Nah, jadi yang full English nanti adalah presentasinya dan juga tanya jawabnya. Sekarang sedang di tahun pertama, nanti akan dijelaskan lebih lanjut lagi tentang jurusan apa, dan mungkin profesi sebagai apa juga, seperti itu. Oh, ada yang masuk lagi, Mulia. Oke. Terima kasih Agatha, Aulia, Rizky, Bening, Cindy, Dian, Oki, Komunitas Kampung Inggris. Mahmud, Mega, Nasa, Mulia, Syafika. Oke. Oke, Gema.
Yeah.
You may start now. You can give like introductions or briefly, or you can tell anything, and after that can present your presentation. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm ready.
Take your time.
So good afternoon, everyone. I believe it's the afternoon in Indonesia right now. Selamat sore. I'm actually studying Indonesian, so I think I understood a little bit what Indika said.
Wow.
And yeah, just a little bit, not a lot. But it's actually my first time speaking in a webinar like this, so bear with me a little bit. Before beginning the presentation, I would like to thank Sekolah Bahasa and Andika for inviting me to speak today. I'm very excited because I want to have more Southeast Asian students in France, more Southeast Asian researchers in France, and I hope that this presentation will encourage you to at least think about the possibility of studying in France. Okay, so let me begin by introducing myself briefly. And is it okay, Andika? Like, is visible?
Oh yeah, everything's clear. I can see you and I can see the screen too.
Okay, so just to introduce myself briefly, I'm actually a Filipino national. I think Andika said that. I graduated with a degree, bachelor's degree in European languages in 2014, where I majored in French and I minored in Italian. And then from 2014 to 2019, I was a French lecturer in the University of the Philippines. So I taught French as a foreign language and French literature. And then in 2017, I took a study leave to go to France as a scholar. So to pursue my master's degree in comparative literature in the Université Sorbonne Nouvelle Paris 3. So it's a university in Paris. I graduated in 2019 and I immediately began my PhD again in Sorbonne Nouvelle in comparative literature. So my objective today is to talk about studies in France in general. So how can you apply to a French university, the practical details, and then what's living like in France as a student. And as a conclusion, I will briefly talk about how you can apply to a PhD program. So first, why study in France? So why study in France and not anywhere else, not in any other European country? What makes France special? Number one, in studying in France, you get the chance to obtain a degree from one of the top 100 universities in the world. So here in the website of the QS World University Rankings of 2020, there are actually 3 French universities that made it to the top 100. So you have the Université PSL, which is a university housing science and humanities programs. You have the École Polytechnique, which is an engineering school. And then finally, you have the Sorbonne Université, which is actually a consortium of multiple universities. So it's not just one university. There are a lot of Sorbonne in Paris, and each Sorbonne has a specialization. So my Sorbonne, where I study, specializes in modern languages. Number 2, discover French culture and gastronomy. So I think this is a no-brainer. France is known for its very rich culture and for its food. There are actually 40,000 plus monuments in France. There are 8,000 museums, 2,000 cinemas, and 500 festivals celebrated each year. So in the photos, you can actually see, I think everyone's familiar with this, the Pyramide du Louvre. It's in the Da Vinci Code movie. And this is from the Louvre Museum, which houses the famous Mona Lisa. Number 3, by studying in France, you get to learn the 5th most spoken language in the world. French is spoken in 29 countries in the world, not just in France. So I won't list everything, every country, but we have, for example, Belgium, Canada, Luxembourg, and then France, of course, Switzerland, parts of Switzerland speak French, African countries like Burkina Faso, Cameroon, and then there are also Haiti. There's a lot of countries that speak French, which makes it a total of 300 million francophone in the world. So French is also the working language of the EU and the UN. So if you dream of working for these entities, knowing how to speak French is definitely an advantage. Number 4, be part of France's advanced research development. By studying in France, you get to mingle and collaborate with some of the top scholars in various fields. France is actually the second most country to have won the Fields medals in mathematics, fourth in Nobel Prizes, and the second country to the second country with the most number of application for European patents. And finally, which is I think is the best, is if you study in France, you get to possibly get a scholarship, which means that you do not have to pay anything. I will talk more about this in the next part. So applying to a French university. What do you need to do to apply to a French university? So the first step is finding a program. So you have to know in which discipline you want to study, what kind of program you want to take. I advise you to check this website. So this is a screenshot of the Campus France in Indonesia. So this website is in Indonesian. And Campus France is basically a national agency that promotes French higher education to the international public. So if you're serious about studying in France, you have to go to this website. You have to check this out. In the website, you will find information about the higher educational system in France. You will find list of scholarships and list of programs offered. The educational system in France is a little bit complicated, I find. There are actually not just a single path that students can take after high school. At least that's a difference in comparing to the Philippines, for example. But to give you a brief overview, you can take a bachelor's degree program in France. This is called the licence, and it takes only 3 years to finish. You have the master's level. So there's the MBA, Business Ad, or MA, Master of Arts, or Master's in Science. And generally, it takes just 2 years, which I think comparing to the Philippines is way shorter. I'm not sure with in Indonesian educational system, but 2 years is short for a master's level in the Philippines. And then finally, you have the PhD level, which takes about 3 to 6 years, depending, of course, on how long it takes for you to finish your thesis, your dissertation. But of course, you can go to France simply for short programs. So if you want to just study French for a month, or immerse in the French culture for a semester, there are programs like that. And you might ask, do you need, and I think this is an important question, do you need to be able to speak French to study in France? The answer is no. There are 1,500 programs taught in English in France, so there's a lot of choice. And I actually know a lot of people here who are doing their PhD, but who didn't speak French when they first arrived. Now, of course, they can speak French, but before, no. So it's possible, it's totally possible to study in France without being able to speak French. So if you go to the website of Campus France, there is a list of all the programs taught in English, as you can see in this screenshot. So you can filter it according to the degree or diploma level, according to field. And the great thing about these programs is that they are 100% taught in English. So there are programs, like I said, the bachelor's, degree awarding programs, but there are also shorter programs like summer schools, language classes, etc. So after finding the program that you think is right for you, the next step is looking for funding. If you do not want to pay for your for the school fees, you need to find funding. There are multiple options available to international students. You have, for example, the French Embassy. I advise you to check the French Embassy in Indonesia. They usually offer scholarships, and these scholarships are full scholarships, which means that you virtually pay nothing during your studies. You have the Erasmus Mundus, which is a very popular scholarship program, which allows you to go not just to France, but in other European countries as well. A few years ago, they even had a program where you can spend one semester in one European country and then move to another European country. So it's basically like you're touring Europe every semester. and everything is of course paid by the scholarship. And then you have the private websites like Scholars for Dev that list scholarships as well. Campus France, which I talked about. And then Sciences Po, I put this here because there are also university scholarships. So Sciences Po is actually a well-known university here in Paris. And they offer scholarships to students who are admitted to their university. So if you dream of going to a specific university in France, you might want to check the financial aid available to international students. There are generally scholarships like that. To talk to you about my personal experience as a scholar, I actually was awarded 2 scholarships. The first one was in 2015. I was here for a month, and it was only to learn the French language. So it wasn't a degree awarding scholarship, and it was fully funded by the Embassy of France. So they paid for my travel expenses. They paid for my housing. So I lived there in the Villa Jean Monnet, the photo at the top. That's my dormitory. They paid for the food, and of course they waived the fees of the school. So everything was totally free. And then in 2017 to 2019, I went here for my master's degree, and I was also a scholar. So again, it's a full scholarship, and it was funded by Chedville France, which is a collaboration between a higher educational institution in the Philippines and the French embassy. So as you can see at the top right, those are my co-scholars. I met them during the orientation. And at the bottom of that, that's a photo of me during my first day of class in the Sorbonne Nouvelle. The great thing about the scholarship is I didn't pay for anything as well. They paid for my travel expenses, tuition fee, and I had an allowance of 950 euros per month for 2 years. So I could use that to pay for the housing, the food, etc. In 2019, so this was my graduation ceremony. And as you can see, Sorbonne Nouvelle has a very international pool of students. Actually, most of the students I think that I mingled with were international. So it really helped because moving to a new culture, to foreign culture, and living in France is not always easy. But having other people to share the woes with you it makes it much better. Number 3, university application requirements. So once you find the funding and you have the program you want to get into, usually you have to apply to the university. This changes. So sometimes you apply to a scholarship and you're automatically accepted in the university. Sometimes you have to apply to a university first, and only when you're accepted can you apply to a scholarship, or vice versa. So if you need to apply to a university, these are the usual requirements. For a master's degree, you would need a diploma. Now here it's a bit complicated because France does not simply recognize your bachelor's degree. At least that was the case during my time. I had to do 1 year of master's in the Philippines to be accepted in a master's in France, but just 1 year. So you need that. Number 2, motivation letter. So, just a letter explaining why they should accept you. Thesis proposal. So this is not so complicated, just 1 page of the subject that you want to tackle for your thesis, because of course, in France, the culminating activity of your master's is 100 to 200 page thesis. And then sometimes they ask you for a French language certification, but only if the program is in French. So one of the most recognized exams is the DELF. You take it and they will give you a levels A1 to C2, C2 being the native level. You usually need a level of C1 to be able to get into a graduate degree program. Okay, so now we move on to living in France. So say that you found your funding and you finally arrived in France. How is it like? First, housing in France. So there are multiple uh, avenues to look for housing in France, but it's quite complicated. Um, Students generally have a hard time looking for a place to live in when they arrive in France. The first option is the Crous. So this is an example of a dormitory, university residence hall. The payment per month is usually 100 to 400 euros. I put there the in rupiah, so you get an idea. And then you have the colocation, which is quite a popular thing here in France. Basically, it's like you're in the same house with other strangers, and you just rent a room, so it's way cheaper. So you pay about 200 euros to 300 euros per month. And then finally, you have the apartment, so you can rent your own apartment, but it's a bit more expensive than the other options. It could go from 600 euros to 1,000 euros. This photo is actually my apartment, my first apartment. I've already moved. And I had to pay 750 euros for an 18 meter squared. So it's really expensive. And the only reason why it's 750 could go way more expensive than that. The only reason why it's 750 is because I was living not at the center of Paris. The more that you live at the center of the Paris, the more expensive it becomes. Number two, working in France. So as a student, you are allowed to work in France. You have an allowed legal work of 964 hours during the year. So it's not full-time, evidently. And the SMIC, so that's the minimum wage. It's called SMIC in France. Is 9 euros 76 cents per hour as of January 1st, 2018. Number three, cultural life. So the great thing about living in France is you get to experience the culture while you're studying. So here are some examples. You get to see the Mona Lisa at the Louvre, the Comédie Française, which is a popular theater, and then the cinemas. And for students, there are so many discounts available that you can practically go out every week and you wouldn't have to fear breaking the bank. If you're a Campus France scholar, it's even more interesting because they actually have cultural excursions where you are invited. You have to pay, of course, but it's way cheaper. So these are examples of the cultural excursions I was invited to. You have the on the left, which is an exhibition of Cubism in the Centre Pompidou, which is a contemporary art museum here in Paris. And I believe they were only asking 5 euros, which is really cheap compared to the others. They also have excursions out of town. So you can go on a weekend skiing, for example, here on the right. This was about 150 euros, if I remember correctly, for everything included. So the hotel, the trip, etc. So if you live in France, you will be able to travel a lot because Europe is pretty much accessible and it's not expensive. In my time here, from 2017 to 2019, I traveled to 20 countries. I'm big on traveling, so I really made it the point to go every month somewhere. But I still managed to be able to save some money because here in France, you could simply take a train, you could carpool, and you're already in another country. And there are low cost airlines, so you can explore Europe maybe for a really low price. Now the cost of living. So taking into account the many discounts for which students are eligible, the average monthly student budget is 1,000 euros in Paris and 800 euros elsewhere in the country. Paris tends to be more expensive than the rest of France. But 1,000 is actually a bit too much in my own experience. My scholarship gave me 950 euros and it was more than enough. Because if you think about it, if you have a 950 euro scholarship, you pay 200 for the dormitory, and then you have the rest. You have nothing else to pay. You have the metro and the food. So I think it's more than enough, 950. To give you an idea of how much things cost, so a meal at a restaurant could go from 10 to 20 euros. A meal at the university cafeteria, 3 to 4 euros, so it's already way cheaper. And it becomes even cheaper if you just go to the grocery and cook your own food. And then you have the monthly metro transportation, which is 30 euros to 80 euros. If you're younger than 27, it's 30 euros for you. And then the medical visit would cost you 5 euros to 10 euros, taking into account the reimbursement. This is also one of the great things here. The social security system is really effective. So you virtually do not have to pay for your medicines or for going to the doctor. So as a conclusion, pursuing a PhD, if you wish to pursue a PhD program here in France, what do you need to do? Of course, you need a master's degree. And here in France, the minimum is a mention très bien, which is the first honor. To give you an idea, they actually grade students from 1 to 20, 20 being the highest. But in France, we have a saying, no one gets 20. So the highest is actually 19. So mention très bien is a grade of 16 to 20. So you need an average of 16 to 20. You would need a motivation letter, a thesis proposal, which is a little bit more complicated because it's longer, and a letter of acceptance from supervisor. So this is one of the main differences between applying for a master's and a PhD program. In a PhD program, you need to have an advisor. You need to look for a supervisor first. Without a supervisor, you can't apply to the university. So you need to find someone who is an expert in the subject that you want to research at, and who is willing to advise you, to supervise you. And then again, a French language certification if it is a fully French program. But like I said, there are PhDs in English, especially in the sciences. For example, two of my friends are doing their PhD in biology. I think one is in biology and the other is in, he's studying insects. That's all I remember. But both of them, their program is completely in English. That's it. Thank you so much for listening. Terima kasih. And please do not hesitate to ask any questions if you have any. And I hope it was clear enough and informative for you.
Thank you so much, Gema. Yeah, I hope everyone, all the participants, they are they understand or understood what are you saying, what you are saying. And
yeah, me too.
yeah, because some people say that, like, not some people, like one person, he said like try to speak slower, but it's in the chat, but maybe you didn't see that.
Oh, I
What?
didn't see. I'm sorry. You should have interrupted me, Andika.
It's fine.
I
What
was
happened
so
with what
focused.
happened with the screen? Did you stop?
Hmm?
Did you stop share screen? Okay.
No, I didn't stop share screen. Okay,
Okay,
sorry
so
if
it's
I was
okay. It's
speaking too
fine.
fast.
Thank you so much. Maybe before all participants, before you guys ask Gema questions, I'm gonna ask you just one question.
Yeah.
So, or maybe clarify ya in Bahasa Indonesia to
Yeah.
participants what you are saying, like give a summary. Maybe. Okay, just maybe 2 minutes. Oke,
A
teman-teman, jadi
summary?
ya summary from me
Oh,
in,
okay.
in bahasa.
Okay.
Oke, teman-teman, jadi tadi Gema sudah menyampaikan bagaimana sih kuliah di Perancis dan juga kehidupan di Perancis dan juga hal-hal lain terkait beasiswa dan juga perkuliahan ya. Semoga itu bisa menginspirasi dan teman-teman bisa paham. Kalau tidak, nanti ada siaran langsungnya bisa di YouTube kita upload, jadi bisa di-review lagi. Dan kalau ada yang mau minta PowerPoint, nanti akan saya mintakan ke Miss Gema ini. Oke, jadi tadi beberapa keunggulan ya yang bisa di-highlight oleh teman-teman kalau kuliah di Perancis itu keuntungannya teman-teman nggak harus bisa bahasa Perancis kecuali kalian mau mengambil studi bahasa Perancis. Jadi bisa pakai bahasa Inggris tidak apa-apa. Dan juga bisa keliling dunia. Karena keliling dalam artian keliling Eropa ya karena dekat dengan negara-negara di Eropa seperti UK. Tadi Gema bilang setiap bulan bisa visit ke negara-negara yang lain dan juga bisa naik train ya, pakai kereta saja. Jadi gampang, bisa ke 20 negara dan sebagainya. Itu jadi bisa menjadi satu option yang bisa dipertimbangkan oleh teman-teman. Oke, kita langsung ke Q&A. Saya bacakan dulu atau teman-teman mau langsung bertanya? Karena partisipannya terbatas, jadi ini eksklusif ya. Teman-teman bisa bertanya langsung untuk Cindy. Nah, coba nih, Cindy bisa sambil latihan speaking, bisa dibaca, atau bisa bertanya lagi ulang secara oral ya. Silakan Cindy bisa di-unmute dan bertanya kepada pembicara langsung, Cindy Noviani Lenardi. Ya, silakan. So, Gema, I was asking one of the participants who wrote these questions to ask you directly. Now she will ask you something.
Okay.
Ya, silakan Cindy. Bisa dimulai atau dibaca pertanyaannya. Mungkin sedikit delay ya, jadi kita bersabar. Cindy, you can start with your question. I cannot, can you hear that, Cuma?
No, I can't hear anything.
Cindy, mungkin bisa speak louder ya. Okay, we still cannot hear Cindy. I'm so sorry. Yeah. I don't know why. Maybe I will help you to read the question.
Yeah.
Okay, it's fine. I don't know why we don't know too. I mean, yeah, I can help you to read the questions. Hello, my name's Cindy. I'm student college of Esa Unggul University. I want to ask you something. Have you experienced culture shock in France? Because I'm exactly sure that Philippines and France have a different culture. Yeah, like, you know,
yeah. Yeah, well, definitely. When I first came here in France, I've been speaking French for 10 years already. But when I came here, I still felt like, I don't think I can communicate really in French because it's different learning the language in the academic setting and when you're actually conversing with people, it feels different. Those were one of the things. The second thing is I felt like people were mad at me all the time because they weren't smiling so much. And then I realized that, later on, I realized that they're actually very nice. It was just their way of speaking. They speak, loud and direct, which in the Philippines is different because people are always smiling and the way you speak, there's always those tonalities, friendly tonalities. And then the last thing, culture shock, was the food, which is probably a given. I miss so much the Filipino food, and at the start, I was always sad because there's people here do not always eat rice, and I think that was one of the hardest things, getting used to the food. But now it's different. I mean, after 5 years, I feel like I love French food so much. That's it. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you so much, Gema. Jadi tadi ada, did you mention language too? The language. Did you mention a language?
Yeah.
Oke, jadi ada bahasa dan orang-orangnya dan juga makanan ya teman-teman. Nah, jadi meskipun Gema sudah belajar bahasa Perancis selama 10 tahun, like 10 years.
Ya, 10
But
tahun.
that's still ya. Dan kedua juga orang-orangnya, mungkin Asian, we are nice ya, like smiley, having smiley face. Dan juga sering ramah ya, menyapa ya, selamat pagi, mau kemana, seperti itu mungkin ya. Nah, di sana beda ya orang-orangnya, straight away kayak kaku gitu, dan mungkin nggak smile, nggak tersenyum. Jadi itu juga perlu dimengerti ya, hal-hal kecil seperti itu. Dan juga makanan, ya mungkin makanan di sana tidak makan nasi ya, tadi Gema mention seperti itu. Oke, ada lagi, silahkan teman-teman, ayo. Ini masih banyak waktu ya, masih 25 menit lagi. Oh, ada Ramazan Nur Sasmita, you can ask Miss Gema directly. Mr. Ramadan, please. Silakan.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so thank you for your sharing and presentation. It was amazing. So my question is, does age matter in taking program in France? Because I am very, very old.
Yeah, I see. Generally, it's not a requirement. I've never seen them like, put like you need to be less than this certain age to be able to apply for a degree. So let me comfort you there already. It's not a requirement. Another thing is while I was doing my master's in comparative literature, I had classmates who were old, like 50 years old, 60 years old. So I think there's no age limit. I
Thank
hope that
you.
answers the question.
Jadi nggak ada batasan umur ya, teman-teman. Oke, terima kasih juga Cindy, sama-sama. Thank you so much. Terima kasih, Mr. Ramadan. Thank you so much. Silahkan, ayo kita bertanya tentang Perancis beasiswa anything. You can ask anything, literally anything. Ayo, silahkan.
Not anything.
Not anything. Oh, ada nih, Mr. Mahmud. Oke, silahkan Mr. Mahmud, bisa di-unmute dan bisa bertanya. Ya.
Okay, can you hear my voice?
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear your voice.
I have two questions. First, is it really important to take French language certification and how much it costs? And second is, do you have a special tips to get accepted in French university? Like writing the essay, maybe? That's it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mahmud.
Okay.
Yep.
So to answer the question first regarding the French language certification, it's obligatory if you will be taking a French course. You need a minimum of C1, which is an almost native level. But like I said, there are 1,500 programs in English. And if you apply to these programs, you do not need the French language certification. How much does it cost? I am not sure. The last time you have to verify, okay, because I'm really not sure, but I think it is around 10,000 pesos. Yeah, like 8,000 pesos. I think so. So like I would say like a little bit less than 200 euros. But they have to check.
In USD?
Because I'm no, in euros.
No, like how much in USD?
In USD, 150 maybe.
150.
Okay. Yeah, so around that, but you have to verify because I'm really not sure. And then because I never took the exam. Yeah, I never took the exam because of I was a French teacher, so I was able to prove that I have a French level, French almost native level, so that's okay. Special tips to get accepted in a French university. This is hard. In writing the essay.
So what are they looking for? Maybe what kind of student?
Yeah. one of the things you would give is good grades. So you have to have good grades. So you have to think ahead. If you're planning on applying to a university abroad, make sure to pump up your CV. Have a lot of extracurricular activities, etc. And then when I wrote my essay, I remember talking about how it can help me, like as a student, how the French university is exactly what I need because I want to share Southeast Asian languages and literature to the French public. So there's always that almost objective. Like I think that's what you need to show that there's an objective in your studies, and it's important for your country. It's important for your personal development. It can also be important to France.
Oke, jadi Gema ini belajar tentang Southeast Asian Studies ya. Tapi so you are studying about Southeast Asian Studies.
Yeah, Southeast Asian literature, yeah.
Literature. Tapi dia belajarnya di Perancis. Nah, ada tuh program-program kayak gitu di sana ya, teman-teman. Jadi, misalkan teman-teman punya program yang ada nggak ya di Perancis? Nah, itu ada, is it like 1,500 courses, like programs?
Yeah, in English.
Banyak sekali ya. Banyak sekali, dan nggak harus tadi pakai bahasa atau sertifikat bahasa Perancis. Karena itu hanya untuk program bahasa Perancis aja. Bisa pakai bahasa Inggris kayak universitas lainnya ya. Tapi mungkin bahasa Perancis penting untuk komunikasi dengan local. Maybe French is important to communicate with local or to live in France, yeah. But not for university.
But you learn. Like when you arrive, you'll be out of necessity.
Oh iya, betul.
You learn.
Jadi teman-teman pasti kalau di sana nanti bakalan belajar ya. Di negara Prancis, mau nggak mau harus belajar, nggak usah ikut kelas, mungkin bisa cari pacar bule orang Prancis. So, Gema, do you want to tell them that you have boyfriend from France?
Oh, yeah,
significant?
Sure.
Ya, jadi Gema ini punya pacar dari Prancis. Pacarnya orang Prancis, jadi aduh semakin fluent lah ya. Bisa tuh ikutin tips Gema. Okay, from Dian, yeah, you can ask directly. You can read that questions by yourself. Silakan, Dian. Oke, semoga tadi pertanyaan sebelumnya menjawab ya. Kalau masih ada yang bingung, bisa ditanya lagi kok, teman-teman, tenang aja. Masih ada waktu. Untuk Dian, silakan. Ayo, atau Mulia. Siapa dulu ini? Dian? Ada Dian? Tadi mungkin udah disinggung ya tentang CV ya, sama Gema. Talking about curriculum vitae. Atau udah keluar Dian? Oke, ada tag Tania Grandis. Silahkan tagnya Grandis, bisa dibaca secara langsung pertanyaannya.
So we're not gonna answer Dian.
Which one?
Oh,
maybe she will ask you directly.
Okay.
But I don't know where is she. Kalau tag Tania dulu silahkan. Bisa langsung. Mana tag Tania? Dian ada kok. Nah, tag Tania silahkan.
Oke, Mister. Halo Miss Gema. Halo, Mr. Andika.
Halo, Tag Tania.
Hello.
My name is Grandis. I want to ask about the scholarship in France. Is the cost of our living already paid in scholarship, or it is by our own?
So actually there are two kinds of scholarship that you can have. You can be awarded. There is a full scholarship where you get the travel expenses. They give you an allowance which is supposed to cover the cost of living every month, and you don't have to pay the tuition. So for a full scholarship, virtually you do not pay anything, even the food, the transportation, nothing. But there are also the partial scholarships. So these scholarships only give you, either they just pay the tuition and you have to pay the rest. So it really depends. So only in full scholarship is everything covered, including the cost of living.
Tania, is it clear? Menjawab?
Clear.
Bisa menjawab ya? Atau ada yang mau ditanyakan lagi?
Not
Oke.
enough.
Thank you. Oke, jadi buat teman-teman, talking about scholarship, di setiap negara, di semua negara itu pasti hampir sama ya. Jadi ada full scholarship sama partial scholarship. Kayak gitu. Di universitasnya dia juga provide scholarship juga. Jadi banyak banget. Pemerintah Perancis juga. Nah, untuk Indonesia mungkin ada LPDP ya, teman-teman yang bisa pakai untuk scholarship kuliah di Perancis. Itu ada LPDP scholarship. So Gema, we have scholarship too from the government. It's called LPDP scholarship, so it's like fully funded. Jadi teman-teman bisa coba ya. Yang penting CV-nya bagusin aja, nanti pasti banyak kesempatan ya untuk scholarship. Sama bahasa Inggrisnya juga itu penting banget. Oke. Silahkan yang lain. Oke. Dian, mana Dian? Ada? Dian asking, should we have a good CV to get a scholarship? Maybe you mentioned that a little bit, but you can talk more about that.
There are different kinds of scholarships. So there are merit-based scholarships, but there are also finance-based scholarships. So the merit-based is according to your merit. So yes, you have to have a good CV, good grades, a lot of experiences, etc. But if it's finance-based, it's according to the need. So there are universities that have that finance-based. So the ones who have the less financial resources will be able to be awarded the scholarship, have more chance to get the scholarship.
Ya, jadi depends ya. Kalau itu merit scholarship, kalian CV-nya harus bagus. Biasanya akademiknya juga harus bagus ya. More like academic.
Yes.
Ya. Oke. Terima kasih. Mungkin teman-teman mau tanya ini tentang gimana sih orang-orang Perancis atau pandangan mereka terhadap orang Indonesia. Boleh tuh bertanya tentang itu juga, silahkan. Atau mungkin ya kehidupan orang Asia di sana gimana, silahkan. Zata, mungkin Zata. Elif. Anyone? Oh, Ramazan. Can you ask one more question? Ramazan, hello, are you there?
Maybe they don't have any questions anymore.
Maybe they're shy.
I'm gonna take the time to say I'm sorry that I was speaking a little bit too fast. I didn't realize, and I didn't read the chat box. So, Mal.
No, my bad too. I didn't interrupt you. Yeah, maybe one of the participants, they said, can you please speak slowly, but it's fine. I explained already, like give a summary in the end. Oke, mungkin tentang karakter ya dari saya. Karakter orang Perancis, Gema. Bagaimana karakter orang Perancis? You can speak Indonesian, right?
Yeah. So bagaimana? How is the character of French people?
Yes.
It really depends. I don't want to say like I don't want to generalize. I find that people in Paris are more direct, and then like much more than say people from the province. people in Paris are also, there's actually, do you know that there are more tourists than, there are more international people in Paris than nationals. So Paris is actually more like a conglomeration
I
of
guess
multiple nationalities.
like Eiffel Tower ya. Ada menara Eiffel di sana.
There's a lot of other nationalities,
I see.
more than others. So yeah, they can be pretty direct. They can be pretty loud. I remember I was in a post office and I got shouted at, but I think that was my fault more than anything else because I couldn't understand what they were saying. I think this was a tough time, like at the start when I couldn't, the difference between their character and ours.
But
Yeah,
but they know, right? Like there are a lot of tourists, and why they shout?
there are a lot of tourists.
Yeah, in France,
Again.
and then for example, when you didn't understand, then why they shout? Like why they shout out
Yeah.
like being rude to you?
Yeah, I don't think they're being rude now that I realize it. I mean, retrospectively, I thought they were being rude, but actually no. It's just that they're trying to articulate their words,
I see.
and it tends to come off like they're shouting, but actually they're not. They just speaking louder and more like that.
And you thought it is shouting, yeah, but it's not really
Yeah,
like
yeah, but
shouting.
it's not. Yeah,
Just the way they speak, very loud.
yeah.
Ya mungkin di
Not like us. It's different. It's different. I mean, we're loud. Like
Yeah,
my boyfriend says, like you are so loud when you talk to your parents on the phone. Why do you always shout? Not like that, but you know, when they try to emphasize something, they could come off as a little bit too direct.
anger. I see.
Yeah, but not really. So yeah,
Okay.
that's what they're like. I think there's another question.
Okay, Mahmoud,
can I
please.
ask you?
Sure.
Okay, thank you so much for answering my question before.
Yeah.
One of the things that make me want to go France to get study there is the Louvre Museum. I don't know how to pronounce it. Can you tell me how amazing that museum, like how good the museum? Maybe when you tell me, I can get more motivated to study there. Have you been there?
Yes, I've been twice. Yeah, I've been 2 times only. The Louvre is really big, actually. It's not possible to finish it in just one time. You know, if you just go one time, it's not possible. I think my favorite part is the collection on the Egyptian collection. So there are multiple floors which houses different kinds of artifacts, and there are the paintings, the Mona Lisa, of course. There are statues, and then, like I said, my favorite part is the Egyptian part. You can actually, I think, if you want to know more, go to the website of the Louvre, and I'm not sure, but they probably have a virtual exhibit because I'm seeing that more and more museums are having exhibits for so you can watch it at home because of the lockdown. I think that could inspire you to motivate you to come to France.
Oke, Mahmud menjawab ya.
Yes, thank you.
Welcome. I hope that answered the question of Mahmoud.
Okay, anyone else? Please. Yang belum bertanya silahkan. We still have, wait, what time is it now? Still have 7 minutes. Agatha, ya please. Silahkan bisa dibaca langsung. Miss Agatha. Okay, I'll ask Agatha to unmute. Okay.
Okay. First of all, I would like to say thank you for the amazing presentation. And actually, I have two questions. The first one is there any French culture or manners that we need to know so that we won't offend other people while we interact with the people there? And my second question is, how about the
accessibility towards religious community or prayer places like church or mosque, and like the diversity of religion there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Agatha.
Thank you, Agatha. So regarding French cultural manners, there's a lot, but just to give you an idea, like for example, in terms of conversation, you should not ask anything about religion, politics, or money.
Like salary.
These are considered offensive to ask to someone you don't know that well. Like, what's your job? How much do you earn? Or something about politics, something about religion. It's offensive.
And how about marital status? Like, are you
marital
married?
Status is okay. I think it's okay. But actually, I wouldn't even venture there, like on the first time. I wouldn't ask that kind of guy.
Because we did, Indonesian, we
fun.
did. Are you married or are you still single? Stuff like that. Like,
Yeah,
where is your
I know,
boyfriend?
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Like, it comes off easy. In the Philippines, too, I think it's not that, like, it's not a big deal if you ask someone that question. But I don't know. I don't think I do that in French unless we're really close. Like,
Yeah.
I find it a bit uncomfortable to ask. So yeah, that's one of the things that you should remember. How about the accessibility towards religious community? There are churches here, so there are Catholic churches and there are mosques here in Paris. So yes, you can practice. Personally, I am a Catholic, so I wouldn't dare talk a lot about the mosque and the other kinds of religions because I have no idea about the religious practices. So I wouldn't want to venture. But as a Catholic, I go to church. There are actually Filipino churches. So I think that's one of the important ways that we can connect to our religion is to connect with the community from our country. So the Indonesian community in France, for example. In my case, it was the Filipino community. So there are Filipino churches which give masses in Tagalog, so in our language. So it just feels like it's at home. So yeah, you can practice your religion.
Oke, ya mungkin itu di semua tempat ya. Jadi di setiap negara itu biasanya ada community, apalagi Indonesia ya. Jadi ada PPI itu mungkin di semua negara ada ya PPI apa? Persatuan Pelajar Indonesia. Mungkin Indonesia itu satu-satunya negara yang punya community di setiap negara, maybe ya. So in Indonesia, Gema, in Indonesia we have like Indonesian community, like students community in every single country, like in every country. And then how about in Philippines? Is it like just in certain countries or in all around the world? Like the Filipinos community?
There are a lot of Filipino immigrants, so I think there's Filipinos everywhere too.
Same, yeah. Okay.
Same, yeah.
They have community. Oke, Syafika Putri, raise hand. Mau bertanya silahkan, Syafika. Still
you
have
can raise your hand.
2 minutes. Yeah,
that.
you want to ask? You can raise your hand.
That's cool.
It's cool. Zoom is cool. But I don't know whether she will ask.
Hello.
Okay, Syafika, please.
Hello.
Can you hear my voice?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for the time. So I want to ask: have you ever feel good when you learn French language, and how you manage your time between you learn French language and your study in your university? How you manage your time?
Like how I manage my time between studying French, you mean, and
Yes,
studying? Like before?
When she's in France or when she's in the Philippines, like before going to France or after being in France? After. Oh ya, jadi dia itu guru bahasa Prancis ya. Like dia, are you lecturer or teacher of French?
What's the difference? Here
Like
it's
teacher in
in the
school.
Philippines.
In Indonesia,
I know
it's like
I'm a lecturer.
lecturer, jadi dosen ya. Jadi Gema
Yeah,
ini
dosen.
dosen bahasa Prancis sebelumnya. Jadi belajarnya waktu dia di Perancis. Waktu dia di Filipina.
Yeah, I don't. Just to answer the question, I
Sure,
don't study
please.
French anymore. Because I don't study it anymore.
Jadi udah native like ya.
I wouldn't say completely, but I did my master's in French. So, and then I'm doing my PhD in French. I mean, I'm writing in French, I'm reading in French. So, I don't need to study anymore because it's practically everywhere now. At home, I have to speak in French to my boyfriend, and then school, have to speak in French. So, yeah, I think studying French is now my life. Like, I don't need to study anymore because it's my life now.
Like it was very astonishing when you told me that your writing is much better compared to your boyfriend's writing
Oh,
when
don't
you
say
write
that.
in French. Did dia like her boyfriend is French, but she
Yeah.
wrote much better than him.
In academic. Okay.
In academic.
And yeah,
Okay.
I mean, he's good in marketing and stuff like that. So when I'm writing emails, I ask him. But in academic writing, because I write so much, that's the thing.
Bagus. Jadi udah expert ya. Terima kasih. Tadi siapa yang raise the hand? Oke, terima kasih atas pertanyaannya. Okay, let me check the time. Actually, it's 5 already. Okay, thank you so much. Gema, do you have any like closing sentence?
I don't know. I hope that you're encouraged to study in France and that you look at the websites I told you about, like Campus France, if you're really serious about trying it. So go to those websites and try your best to get the scholarship so you can study in France. I hope that you reflect on that idea. And terima kasih for attending. That's it. And have a great day.
Oke, thank you so much, Gema. Jadi untuk closing aja, banyak sekali ya manfaatnya teman-teman untuk melanjutkan kuliah di Perancis. Dari mulai kehidupannya, kemudian pilihan programnya, dan juga banyak sekali manfaatnya. Di Indonesia mungkin juga bisa kejar beasiswa ke Perancis melalui beasiswa LPDP, karena mungkin meskipun itu di Eropa, tapi persyaratannya lebih ringan daripada negara-negara lain seperti UK atau negara-negara English speaking country lain. Di sana juga banyak multicultural ya, tadi Gema bilang, especially in Paris ya, banyak orang-orang dari berbagai negara, so multicultural. Oke, sertifikat akan dibagikan secepatnya, akan dibagikan, informasikan juga secepatnya. Oke, ada pertanyaan dari NASA tentang cost living. Ini waktunya sudah habis, mohon maaf sekali NASA. Nanti akan dibagikan, bisa nonton recordingnya juga ya, dan juga akan dibagikan mungkin PowerPoint-nya. Would you mind to share the PowerPoint to me and I can share to them later?
Oh, of course. I don't mind. I'll give it to you.
Thank you so much. Gitu ya, NASA, mohon maaf sekali. Dan terima kasih teman-teman Sekolah Bahasa, especially SB Talks, episode 2 ini sudah selesai. Dan untuk teman-teman yang penasaran dengan siapa sih pembicara-pembicara selanjutnya, jadi informasi saja, setiap minggu kita ada SB Talks. So every week we have SB Talks ya. Pertama kemarin dari UK, you are the second one, Gema, thank you so much. Talking about France. Nanti next ada New Zealand, dan next week-nya ada dari Jerman ya. Sudah di kontak speakers-nya dari 2 negara itu so far. Mereka agree, jadi tunggu saja. Kita juga akan mungkin berdiskusi lagi ya tentang akankah ini dibuat free saja. Mungkin akan dibuat free saja ya, biar partisipasinya lebih banyak. Dan tapi mungkin nanti tidak dapat sertifikat. Nah, ini nanti akan dapat sertifikat nih yang kemarin berbayar ini. Okay. So thank you so much everyone. Kalau butuh informasi lagi, bisa cek juga ya Instagram kita untuk info-info yang update di sekolahbahasa.online. Oke. Ada yang baru masuk ini, Kirana. Oke, thank you so much everyone. And I'll see you next week. So never stop learning. Dadah. Thank you, Gema. Thank you, everyone.
Bye,
Bye-bye. Have
everyone.
a nice day.
Thank you.
Ciao.